Hello, I'm Greg Effinger. I'm a plein air artist in Steamboat Springs, and today I'm here with Susan Gill Jackson. She goes by Susie. Susie is a dear friend of mine, and we've painted together multiple times out here in the Colorado Beauty and Steamboat Springs more in particular, with ranch lands and horses. And today we're out on a ranch out 33A, just surrounded by beauty on this fall morning. And we'd like you to join us today on our painting. Watch our painting progress, and we'll do a little bit of an interview. Thanks a bunch. Look forward to what comes of it.
Cool.
Tell me about this scene.
Well, we have a pond in front of us. We have hillsides with horses. We have the ski mountain, Buff Pass, and as you go around, you can look toward Hans Peak, Sleeping Giant. That's what we have, and it's a beautiful spot. We have fence posts and just ranches.
I particularly love the little canoe that's sitting there right by the water. Yeah. I think I'm going to incorporate that into my vertical. Are you doing a vertical?
All right. I'm doing a square.
That is a square.
Yep, it's an old one.
And you have a frame ready for this guy if somebody wants to purchase it?
Yeah, I've got frames in my studio, so.
Yay.
Yeah, I got a frame for it. Yeah. We'll see if it's good enough.
I don't know if I keep any square frames around. We're roughly painting the same size, but you're painting oil.
I'm painting oil, yes.
And I'll be painting watercolor. So I start out with a drawing. How do you start out?
I start out with just drawing with my paint. Start putting on some dark areas and light areas, but I do a sketch with like a red or a dark color just to get the basic stuff on. But you're watercolor, so it's an opposite approach, isn't it? Do you keep your...
I save my whites. I save my lights. So I actually start out with lights and then work to darks.
And work to darks, and I start dark and work to light.
Yeah.
And there we go. Let's see, what do I want to do? You're going to focus on that little guy down there.
How did you first come to Steamboat Springs? And what role has this community played in your journey as an artist?
Wow. Well, it was my oldest son who wanted to, between high school and college, wanted to be a ski bum, and found a job out here in Steamboat, and that's what brought us out here. And yeah, we just fell in love with the place. The Yampa Valley curse is real. It got us. That was in '95 when we came out. And it took us a couple of years to get it together to move here, but we all decided we wanted to be here. The kids got involved in the Winter Sports Club. Great program, great program. And I went to the Art Depot to see what was happening in the art scene, because that's where it all was at that time. And met Nancy Kramer and Sandra Sherritt and Dancy and some of that gang, and
what a great bunch of friends.
Yeah, and we all were like, we got to do something here.
Were you an artist before you came?
Yeah, I've always done art. I was a graphic design major back in college.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. But that's back when we used the T-square. You know, we didn't have computers and things.
Do you remember the first time you thought, I'm an artist?
I was born an artist. I really was. Ever since I was a little kid. My older sister had she was a very good artist. She was really into watercolor. I copied my big sister a lot. She was a great artist. So I've always done art. And when I was little, Mom would let me loose at the Art Institute in Canton, Ohio. And I'd spend the day, I'd take my lunch and take classes. and I just loved it. Once I got here, I thought, this is what I want to do. That's when I heard about Jean Perry, and I met Jean, and I thought, you can paint outside, paint and be outside. I'm like, this is the best. So I took her class and took it a couple of times. My nephew took it with me and just kind of got hooked on plein air. I've done a lot of different mediums throughout my life. Used to watercolor with my sister, done wall mural stuff. This is the hardest medium I've ever done. Hardest thing, oil painting outside, like this, next to the dog poop, and whatever flies over and lands on you, who knows, you know? But it's so much fun. And I gotta have the challenge or I'll lose interest. So this is hard, and that's why I continue with landscapes.
What's the most rewarding part?
You know, when a scene is calling to you and you nail it, that's when it feels really good.
I like that the clouds are just starting to develop there over the mountains, just to give us that little bit of interest.
Yeah, I know, it's so pretty out here. Aren't we so lucky to live here?
How do you balance your spontaneity with technique when the light is shifting so quickly?
You know, it's just a race. If I really find something I like, the light is really good, like really talking to me, I'll take a picture of it so I can refer to that and keep it, you know, and then just keep going with the colors. But you know, those in-between colors between the really darks and the really lights, it's great to take a look at it and get it on there, you know.
How much do you let the paint itself do the job versus feeling like you're trying to be in control?
I'm trying to be out of control. Actually, I like it loose, you know, impressionistic oil. I like thicker paint if I can. I'm trying to get a little thicker. So I like it, and sometimes if it looks too controlled, I will use my left hand. So it's not so controlled, you know? I enjoy introducing people who have never painted with oil outside, who want to take a lesson. I like to get them excited.
What are your artistic influences?
Oh, well, Jean Perry for darn sure, man. I love her, and then that whole, it kind of introduced me to that whole plein air painting, the Plein Air Painters of America.
Oh yeah.
They came here twice to and did workshops here, and everybody stayed out at Perry Mansfield. Do you remember that?
I do.
I thought, this is what I want to do. I want to be outside and listening to the birds. You know, silence, it's golden. Oh, I love all those plein air painters. They're just so talented. Stan Sampson and I became good friends because we clowned around so much. He got me going out at Catalina Island. And I got Best of Show one year. That was pretty cool. It paid for the trip.
How do you handle the days when the painting just doesn't work out for you?
Well, if I'm not feeling it and I realize I'm wasting paint, there's always something else to do. You know, clean the corner of my studio, work on some frames, order some prints, doing, you know, inventory on the supplies, that kind of thing. So I guess that's kind of...
Never without something to do.
Never without something to do in there. But because I hate to waste paint, because it's, as you know, it's quite pricey.
How do the changing Colorado seasons affect your palette or subject matter?
You know, it's fun to switch it up sometimes and try something really different. One time I took a class from Kevin McPherson. He's a plein air painter and he's funny. He's a great teacher. And he had us do a class. It was this time of year, it was in the fall. Leaves were changed more. And the only paints we could use on our palette were black, white, cadmium red, preferably the medium, the real bright one, lemon ochre, period. So that was the red, yellow, and blue. The red was, and the blue was in the black, lamp black, I guess. And just to mix the colors to get your greens with the ochre and the touch of black, you know, that was fun. I found it more surprising because I just followed the instructions that he said to do, and like the sky, all you could do is mix black and white. It was a blue sky day. But against those other off colors, it looked like it was light blue, you know, the way they bounce off of each other. That was a cool thing to do. So then after that, there were some years after that, when I was at Circle 7, that I did a fall series with basically those colors. There we go.
How do you feel your work contributes to how locals visit and see this valley?
It's so beautiful here. There's a painting in every direction. And if they can take a little piece of it home with them, that could be fun, you know? The local history is pretty cool. I like reading about it and putting some of that into some of my work. Like I did a Saloon Girl series a while back. I called it The Soiled Doves. And when you read up on those girls, my goodness, some of them were they were just children, you know, that lost their families on the way here, or kidnapped, or you know, left alone on the prairie and worked their way to a town and got some help. But it was fun reading about all these crazy women that survived out west here. And the Native Americans, the Utes, it's pretty cool. So, you know, I guess painting the scenery is painting and trying to get, you know, these open spaces before they get too full of houses and things, you know. And watching the art world grow here, to be a part of that is really exciting. You know, from the beginning with Nancy Kramer, I remember Nancy and I would get together and we would do the art in the park, or we did the festival that was over on the mountain. Every time Sandra Sherry would walk by and say, "You girls need to start a gallery. You should get a locals gallery started in Steamboat." And then she'd keep walking. And finally, you know, we talked with her one day when she, I mean, literally would just come by our booth and say, "You guys got to get something going on." And we're like, "Yeah, we don't know how." And she said, "Go see Nancy Kramer at the Art Depot. She'll tell you how to do it." And that's what we did. And the Artist Gallery of Steamboat was born. You remember that? You were part of that place.
Yeah.
You know, we started off with 28 artists in there.
Do you have a favorite piece that you remember that you were the most excited about?
I like the painting that I did of Fish Creek Falls. It was 5 feet tall and a couple feet wide, maybe a little more. And this is like a series of little paintings, you know? The top of the falls, the bottom, the middle, these trees over here, everything. It was really fun to do. I did like it.
And it just came together, huh?
It just came together, yep. Yep.
Do you have a dream spot that you would someday like to go paint?
Oh gosh, I like to paint everywhere, but I'll tell you, I would like to. Are you familiar with the El Camino Trail? It's kind of a spiritual, it's a pilgrimage people would take. The one I'm interested in is in the Pyrenees Mountains between Spain and France.
Okay.
Shirley MacLaine wrote a book called El Camino.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are El Caminos. It's like, what does that mean? The Camino, does that mean like the street? The Holy Street, maybe, something like that?
The trip.
The trip? Okay. Yeah. So anyway, you go from village to village and you take like a whole summer season or 2 seasons or something, you know, whatever you want. I would like to do a painting trip. Just do small paintings.
Because it is spiritual.
Yeah, and you camp and you can stay in the village, and every village I would just, you know, maybe stay for a few days in a hotel that has a shower and everything. Ship out the paintings I have, receive some new equipment, you know, figure that all out. I would love to do that someday. I think it'd be fun to make plans to meet fellow artists out there. If they can't do the whole thing, do some of it, you know? And just meeting in these different villages would be so fun.
What do you typically listen to while you're painting?
Rock and roll.
Do you really?
Yeah, I like rock and roll. I like Elvis, I like Led Zeppelin. I like good old rock and roll. How about you?
About the same. All this.
I love listening. And if there's a creek, you know, that's part of getting all that in the painting.
What do you hope someone takes away with your work? When they look at your work?
Oh, I hope it makes them feel good. It reminds them of something that, you know, an old memory, or there's a color that's like, oh, I just love that color. You know, something that makes them feel good. That's what I hope they take away. Yeah. Because that's what buying art is all about.
Well, you mentioned art sales. What do you ever paint just for yourself?
I have in the past. It's been a while. I just like to paint. So
So it doesn't matter if it's for somebody or for yourself.
Right. And sometimes I'll do a painting, it's like I'll just hang on to it, you know, because I like it. I've done a painting out my kitchen window it's got bear claws going up the trunk, and I don't know when he was there, when the bear did that, but the main floor is on the second floor, and I have a lot of big aspens, so I'm halfway up the aspens. So that's why some of my paintings in the gallery are aspen trees, the nests, the nests in the trees there. I noticed I was painting the leaves out there because it was so pretty, and there were these bear claws, and it was just cool to see claw marks from climbing the tree. So I painted them, and then that sold, and I thought, okay, I got to paint myself another one, and then that sold, so now I got to paint myself another one before I leave the place. So hopefully die with a paintbrush in my hand, you know.
If you had to sum up your artistic journey in one brushstroke, what would it be?
Probably some crazy ass circle. I don't know. Because I've tried different things. I worked for an advertising. I did, you know, layouts. You had to be real precise, you know. But that was back when we used the T-square. We didn't have all the computers and everything. So being that, I like working within a challenge. Like I've illustrated some children's books, And I look at the story and try to figure out how to portray that, you know. I think that's fun.
What's the hardest color for you to mix?
Light red.
Pink?
Not pink. I don't want pink. But like at the side of a building is the light's hitting it, it's light red. Mixing that light red without it looking pink. That's kind of it.
Have you figured out a solution?
Yeah, just keep making it dirty.
The dirtier the better?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
And
this
then
is more
lighten it up.
This is more of a from experience. So you're painting a scene and you realize, oh my gosh, there's a lot of green in this scene because Colorado's so green.
I know.
How do you break that up?
Try to paint someplace where there's a red building, a red roof.
It's like, oh, the dirtier the better?
Yeah.
What's some good advice for somebody who's just starting out?
Not to get discouraged and just keep going, and every mistake is, you learn something from it, you know? You learn something from it. If you don't, well, you know, it depends on what you want to spend your money on, I guess. But you do learn, you know, when you, like, I won't do that again, you know? At least you learn that. But, yeah, I think not to get discouraged, keep going. And like anything, the more you practice, the better you get. Right? I don't think there should be rules. I think you should paint what you want to paint. Sandra shared, when I first met her, she said, I just want to break the rules. I don't care what anybody says.
I know, I loved her.
I know.
Are your kids into art?
They all do have some artistic talent. They really do. Christopher went to school at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. He got into collecting diplomas. He was a graphic design major, design and all that. Curtis too, he went to the Art Institute of San Diego. He went to school there and he loved it. He did well. And he designs, he's a designer now.
Okay, where can people purchase or see your art locally?
At Pine Moon Fine Art, that's the best place to look for my artwork. I do have a website, but I don't keep up with it very well. Or if you're in Naples, Florida, you can go to the Sheldon Gallery down there.
No, we kind of talked about it. About the biggest challenges to plein air painting.
Yeah, I guess the weather for sure. The temperature. The bears and the skunks. Those guys are a definite consideration. I've smelled a skunk, but I thought, oh, I smell it, I'm out of here. Got out of there as fast as I can. You know, that kind of thing. But have I ever seen a bear while I've been painting? I don't think so. I was a painting class with Jean Perry up at not up by Rabbit Ears in that direction, but we were on the other side of the road. You know, where you can see the water. There's water and there's logs laying in the water right at the top. Yeah, that area. And we were painting up there, and I had an umbrella hooked onto my easel, and it blew forward, and my whole painting went right on my front. That was that.
Do you ever finish paintings in the studio?
Sure, I'll finish them in the studio, or I like to finish them on site if I can. But I don't always do that. You know, it just depends, depends on the weather, and sometimes I gotta walk away, take a break from it, let it sit for a day, and then come back and take a look later.
Will you fight through a storm to get a painting done, or just go ahead and call it good?
I think the number one rule is to be comfortable when you're painting. In the shade. You know, if you're uncomfortable, it's going to come out in your painting.